Okay, welcome to Shareability Uganda e-learning. My name is Nelson Bitsamba. In today's video, we shall be able to look at decimal fractions, and in this decimal fraction, we shall be able to look at a variety, what it covers in decimal fraction, understanding what this decimal fraction is. To make a recap of it, I shall be able to look at writing decimal fractions in words, addition of simple decimal fractions, then subtraction of decimals, then also expressing decimals as a common fraction. Let's look at what it means by a decimal fraction. What comes to your mind when they talk about decimal fraction? A decimal fraction is defined as those fractions whose denominators are powers of 10. They might be powers of 10 or powers of 100 or 1,000 and so on. Then in our recent videos we had to look at what we call a denominator. We said when you are given a fraction, there is what we call a numerator and a denominator. So here they are telling us that these are fractions whose denominators are powers of 10, or may say 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000 and so on. Now here there is a demonstration of the denominators, or denominators, a denominator as a power of what? Of 10. For example, we have 1 out of 10, we have a 3 out of 10, we have a 5 out of 10, we have 286 out of 1,000. Okay. Then here we have been able to identify which one is a decimal fraction, okay, and which one is a non-decimal fraction. So as we have said that these are fractions whose denominators are powers of 10, that means when you have a number and it is not having a power of 10, we shall not consider that as a decimal fractions. As you can be able to see these examples, we are saying 1 out of 10, 5 out of 100, 286 out of 1,000, because they have a power of 10. Okay, so we can be able to say these are decimal fractions. But those which are not having the power of 10, they have some other figures or values, we shall say these are non-decimal what? Decimal fraction. Let's go ahead and see how we can name these fractions in words. When you're given fractions in words, how do you write them and how do you read them? Now, when you're given fractions and they tell you to write this fraction or this decimal in words, you can be able to write it. This is how they do it. For example, they are telling us write 0.0 then 0.2 in words. One way to read this decimal is when you have our value here and we have a point in it. When you looked at place values, we are able to identify how we can give numbers place values. So you can see here that when you have a point, I mean when you have a 0 here or any value, it might not be a 0 or any other number. When it comes to reading this, you name your figure or your number which is on the left hand side becomes the ones, okay, then that number after the point, we read it as tens. Okay, so in so reading this, we can say our 0.2 is either 2/10 or 0.2. That's how you can read a fraction. Let me demonstrate for you another example here, such that you can understand this more. Let me get a pen here. Okay, I'm going to demonstrate here another number, which is 0.7. Let me say 0.7. According to what I've explained, I was saying that we give our first number before the point, it is in ones. Okay, it is in ones. Then the next number after the point, like you're seeing, we name it tens. So that means when you are to read this decimal number in words, you can be able to say it is 0.7. Okay, 0.7. Or you can also name it as 7/10. Okay, you can say 7/10. I may not write it very well, but you can say this is 7/10. The right spelling of what? The right spelling of 10th. And I write it very bad, but for you should be able to write it very well. Okay, so we can be able to say that this is what? This is 7/10. That's how we can read decimal numbers in words. Okay, let's look at another example. Since we have been dealing with the decimal fractions in words, that means we shall be able to look at numbers which are in fraction form and they are later changed to a decimal. So we can have our 4 out of 10 here. Please, this is not part of it. We have our 4 out of 10. It shall be equal to ones. When you arrange them in according to their place values, we shall be able to say we have a ones, we have a tenth. That means where there is a 1 and after a tenth, it's this one is demonstrating where our point is going to be. So the value which will be in this side will be equal to will be in the place values of tens, I mean ones. Then the one on the right hand side will also be in the place value of tenth. That's why here we can be able to read this as 0.4, or we can read it as 4/10. Okay, we also have a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10, its decimal is 0.9. Can someone ask me how this one comes about? This one comes about as a result of dividing 9 out of 10. Last time we were able to look at how we can change our fraction into a what? Into a decimal. One way you can use division. Another way we use the multiplication as a repeated division. All those methods, when you refer back to our last videos, you can be able to see how they come up with 0.9. We also have 7 out of 10 is the same as 0.7. So this means if you are to read this one in words, you can say 7 what? 7/10. Okay. If you are to read also this one in words, you can say 9/10. Okay, which is the same as 9/10. Okay. So this is not a logic. It is as simple as you can do it. Okay. Let's also proceed to another session where we talked of addition of simple decimal fractions. Now, this is where people get confused, especially you pupils, when it comes to adding these decimal numbers becomes a challenge. It is as simple as you do the normal addition. uh, any any point in these numbers should not confuse you, but it should be able to work it out. So let's have a look at how they were able to come up with a 6.1. Anyone with an idea? Okay, let's get started. Now you arrange these numbers according to their what? According to their place values. Okay. Mm, if we have a 2.3 and we have a 3.8, okay, so when we carry out our addition here, we shall be able to look at those figures. Remember, when we are talking about place values, we said the number after the point is read as 10. The number which is before the point is read as ones. Okay, so we shall be able to add these numbers which are in the place values of tens, and these numbers which are in the place values of what? Place values of ones. Now let's make some simple addition, and we see when we have a 3 plus 8, we cannot just write all the numbers here. What we do, we write what is 3 plus 8? 3 plus 8 we get 11. So what you do, you just only write 1, and there is also one which is remaining. Okay, this one which is remaining, you also come and carry out these numbers which are in the place value of ones. That is a 2 and a 3 sums up to a 5. But remember, we had our remainder which was a 1, so we shall be able to add our remainder which was a 1 plus the summation of a 2 and a 3. So don't forget our point which is here, so we shall be able to get our 6. This is how they came up with 6.1 as an addition of these decimal numbers. Okay, another example 2, we have add a 2 plus 0.7. Yes, now here you can see they have given us a whole number and a decimal numbers, so we have also to understand and arrange these numbers very well, such that we can be able to add them. Let's do this. Let's try to solve this trick. We have a 2 which is a whole number, then plus what? Plus our 0.7. Okay, we have our 0.7. Now our number here is not having, it is a whole number, it doesn't have a what? It doesn't have a point. What you can do, you can make this number of ours which is a 2, you say 0.0. You just make it 0.0, because when you say 2.0, it is the same as 2, such that now all of these numbers are now what? Are having it is also now a decimal number. So this means we shall now be able to add them and say what is a 0 plus a 7, shall be able to get our 7. Then you say point. Remember this this side we are saying it is in tenth, alright? Okay, so also this side it is in ones, so we shall be able to say a 2 plus 0, then we shall be able to get our 2. So this is the way how you can sum up that number. Similarly to these numbers, here they were not able to put a 0, which is the same. Okay, so they had to get our 2, which is in ones, with our 0, which is also in ones. So here the topic that we learned about place values, it varies so much. If you still have a problem in place values, please be able to go back and check out on our playlist that we gave you guys, such that you can be able to learn about place values. Alright, so similar, that's how we can solve such a numbers. Okay, let's continue to the next one. Or maybe to give a recap of that, we can say that in decimal fractions, we should be able to understand the place values, and also be able to read these decimal numbers, that the number which is the number before the point, it is in the place value of ones, and then the number which is after the point, it is in the place value of tenth. So in reading these numbers, we can say it is 2 what? 2 tenth. 2 tenth means this number was derived from 2 out of 10, which is the same as 2 tenth. Alright, so that's how we can simplify numbers of that kind. We have not tackled this now. This we talked about expressing fraction as a common fraction. We shall be able to handle this expressing decimals as a common fraction in our next what? In our next video. Okay, so for this I do say thank you very much. Please be able to check out on our recent videos, and subscribe so that you can get more upcoming lessons. God bless you. Thank you very much. Have a good moment.